Hi guys, so let's go ahead and we are going to have this review Edpuzzle. Before you get started, I recommend just looking over your notes just one more time so that you aren't going to miss any as we go. Okay, so these are some things that we are going to be focusing on for this review. We're going to be looking at push-pull factors and how they relate to migration. We're going to be looking at different types of borders, and then we have people and geography, modification and adaptation, and then finally we're going to just look one more time at our new technology just to make sure that we kind of understand the importance of it. So let's go ahead and get started. In this uh, presentation, there are going to be multiple times that we are going to be referring to different items, and you have to kind of pay attention to whether or not they are political, social, or economic. When we are looking at political, we are focusing on government policies and laws, not just political parties. In the news today, because of the election that's coming up in a few days, weeks, you are hearing a lot about the Republicans and the Democrats. Um, that's not what we are really focusing on when we're here in the classroom. We are just looking at like the things that are already law. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind as we are moving forward. And when we are looking at social, we are focusing on the people. So how are families being affected by different policies? How are people being treated? Then finally, we are looking at economic. Many times, most of us want to think of economic as only money, as only currency, and that is only just a small portion of it. When we're looking at economics, we are really focusing on how is that community meeting its needs, and how do they obtain food, shelter, etc. Most of the time, they are obtaining these items through currency, but currency is still like just topic within the big broader picture. So keep that in mind. Here are some push-pull factors. When you are looking for a reason to move to a place, and this is a good positive reason, what is this? Okay, is it a push factor or is it a pull factor? Some examples of positive reasons to move to a place is going to be economic opportunities. That's a really big word, and most of the time students see it on the test and they get scared and then they choose the wrong answer. So economic opportunities, all that we're talking about is jobs. Do you have the opportunity to go and get a job? Okay, this is going to be very important. If I cannot get a job in my hometown, well then I'm going to go somewhere so I could get a job, so I could support, my family, so I could go to the movies when I want, whatever the case is. And the second one is going to be religious freedom. Yeah, it says freedom. Um, Religious freedom is super important for many people. I don't want to be persecuted. I want to live in a place that allows me to be whatever religion I want. Political stability. This just means that your political, your government is protecting you. So I am not worried about Mexico invading us because right now Mexico and the US, they're friendly towards each other. I am not worried about Canada invading us because they have political policies already in place. We have a treaty with them and they're really nice actually. Looking at the other side, so focusing on these negative reasons. These might be reasons why I would want to leave a place. So a drought or famine, if I am not getting food for me and my family, then I am going to leave the area so I could go search for food. Religious persecution, if I am going to be thrown in jail because of the way I am, because of my religious beliefs, well, that might be a reason why I want to leave the area because I would not like to be in jail. Political conflict. So if I was scared that Mexico was going to invade us, if I am scared that we are having a war, then I might be scared for my family. I might be scared for my safety. So I am going to go to another area where I could be safe. Okay. So make sure that you are answering the which one is a push factor and which one is a pull factor. Choose the appropriate answer for the following. So looking at this news article, the name of the article is saying citizenship is denied Jews by Germany. So this is saying that Jews cannot be a citizen of Germany, even though they're living there. So in this case, I need you to decide, is this a push factor or is this a pull factor? Think real hard on if this is a negative thing or a positive thing. Answer the question. Now I need you to decide, which category does this fall under? Are we talking about laws? Are we talking about families? Are we talking about food and shelter? Decide which of these categories, being denied citizenship, would help. Okay, what is the main thing that we are really going to be focusing on? This one. Let's look at our next example. In this one, this is a soldier, and you can see that he has a gun. We are assuming that, maybe there's some type of conflict in this area. Is this going to be something that is happening between governments? Is this going to be something that is going to happen between families and how they are treated? If you come from a certain family, are you going to, be discriminated against? Or is this focusing on how you are meeting your needs? Again, soldier. Soldier. Soldier works for what? Think of that. And then finally this one, is this a push factor or a pull factor? Is this a place that you want to live? If it's not, how are you getting your needs met? Or is this focusing on how people are being treated because of their religion or skin color? Or is this political, where we are going to be focusing on laws and laws were written? Which one is the best answer? Okay, so urbanization, this is a really big fancy word that just means city. Remember, urban just means city. So all of these people are going into the city. Looking at this political cartoon, it says, it shows people walking towards the city. It says megatropolis because it's getting bigger and bigger. And then here we have people who are saying home sweet home. And they say, we're waiting for the city to come to us. So what does that tell us about the city? It's getting much bigger. Okay. Why are people moving to the cities? What is happening in the rural areas? Rural means country, so what's happening in the countryside? Types of borders. Man-made borders are going to be, humans are going to deliberately say, this is the border, right here, this is the line. Think of like if you are living with a roommate and you're like, dude, this isn't working out. I'm staying on my side of the apartment, you stay on the other. And then like you create like a tape or something so that they can't cross. Natural borders is going to be using some type of landform. Most of the time it is not going to be straight. Okay, they're going to follow a river, and rivers are not, perfect. They usually tend to bend. Or maybe you're following a mountain, and again, mountains, like, they aren't straight and perfect and perpendicular to stuff. They kind of follow their own path. So let's look at a few examples, and then you are going to have to answer if it is man-made or natural. So this is a portion of the map of the United States. We are focusing on these lines. Many of these lines are super, super straight. Is this man-made or is this natural? I need you to kind of think, can there possibly be a landform that is going to be at a beautiful, perfect, perpendicular angle? Let's move on to our next one. Again, we're looking at a map of the United States. Here we have some curves happening. Down here, I love this river. Gave you the answer. Please don't get this one wrong. I love looking at this border and how we're following the river. So see how it's all curvy and stuff. It's not, beautifully straight like up here. So what kind is this? Is this man-made or natural? When building a village, what are three things that you need? I am giving you clues. Definitely be thinking of Clash of Clans and Minecraft, and talking about how you are building stuff. Why would it be so important for you to have water where you're going to grow your crops? So think things through. And then finally, desalination. I think this is our last slide. This is important technology. So if you are living in an area that is a desert and you don't have enough rainwater, if you don't have enough just drinking water, how are you going to create this water? So we look at, you could look at Saudi Arabia, where it is a desert, but all around it there is the ocean, or the Red Sea. So there's a lot of salt water. They are going to suck in this water from the seas or oceans, and they are going to put it through some of these processes, I call it magic, where they are taking out the salt from the water. So when it goes through all of this filtering, finally you are going to end up with a nice clean glass of fresh water. And I need you to think, what would be the purpose for these? Okay. Obviously, humans are going to, have access to drink it, but what else can this benefit? I need you to remember that this is a very expensive process, and so it's not as easily available as we would hope in some of these places that have droughts. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, so modification versus adaptation. I really thought we were done. When we are talking about modification, we are talking about the environment changing. When we are talking about adaptation, people's behavior is changing. So there's some type of change, and you just need to decide, is it the environment that has to change, or is it the people who have to change? Okay. The first one is the Suez Canal. Did people, did our behavior change? Did we say, oh, we're gonna push through with this boat no matter what? Or did we have to change the environment so the boat could fit? Looking at this one, you see a lot of houses like this at Galveston. Because when we have those hurricanes and all of that flooding occurs, all of those big waves, they're going to come. Is there any way for us to stop a huge hurricane from coming? No. So what is changing? Are we changing the environment, or are we changing the way we are building houses? Looking at this dam, we see that it is a river, it is really big, and then we make it small. And now we are going to control how much water is going to come through the dam. Is this the environment changing? Do we change the river? Or are we going to act differently because there is a river? Okay, looking at, we have two examples on this one. On both of these, they are reacting to the place that they are living. So presumably this lady is living near the beach, and looking at this picture, these kiddos are on a sled and it's snowing. So what changed? Did the people's behavior change? Did they act differently based off of where they are? Or did we create the beach? Did we create a snowstorm? And that was the last one. So make sure you are doing this. If you have any questions, you need to ask them in class, or you need to log into Zoom at the appropriate time to ask those questions. That's it. Good luck.